All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Complexity Casting HoN Tour, number 2 Bronze Grand Finals. This is it. It's all right here. QLM, their backs to the wall. They got to put it all on the line if they want to bring it back to 1-1. Force a game 3, otherwise SNX is going home with the grand prize, $300, 300 points, then the championship of Bronze US for HoN Tour cycle number 2. Guys, the last game was absolutely epic. My voice is dying, but I don't even care. I cannot wait to get into this game, see if they can make it just as epic as the last game. Sandwraith as a hard carry, as a ganker, doing his thing. What the hell was going on throughout that entire game? Just able to make plays happen. Sandwraith had 100% kill involvement at like 35 minutes into the game. Huge, huge shout-outs to Seishi over there for Seraphic Nexus and to Seraphic Nexus in general, as well as Quadlane Mid for making that an incredible game. And of course, a huge shout out to all you guys at home watching, because I would not be here if it weren't for you guys. S2 Games, Complexity Gaming, you guys make this possible. I'm happy to be here. Let's get into this game. Going way back up here, Keeper of the Forest, Parasite, and Ophelia being blind banned out. Keeper of the Forest, neither team wants him in there. The extremely strong suicide hero says, nope, not today. Not going to be jungling, not going to be suiciding, not picking up a portal key or a soul's bulwark and pushing or jumping in and dropping roots, anything like that. So, whatever. Huge shout out to fans and viewers there from Deathbringer of QLM. So, guys, big shout outs to these guys. Make sure that you let SNX and QLM know that you love watching their games. You can watch all the VODs later on tonight over at youtube.com/beefpotpie1 or check out the info section here at twitch.tv/complexityhon. Click that tournament VOD button for all of the coLcast VODs from the last month and a half, like 115 games or something like that in the past month and a half. Plenty of stuff to watch if you're ever bored. Let's get into the lock pool. Aluna, Plague Rider, Bubbles, Tempest, Midas, and Legionnaire. I like this lock pool. You know why? It's aggressive. Got Midas and Legionnaire, two of the more aggressive heroes in the game. You got Tempest, huge team fighting hero. Bubbles, super aggressive. Aluna, aggressive support, and a passive suicide in the form of Plague Rider. Meh. We'll see if any of those heroes get picked up. A lot of suicides in there with the Midas, with the Bubbles, with the Plague Rider, and the possibility of the Tempest as well. We'll see if any of them get in. I hope to see at least Midas or Legionnaire. I love both of these heroes. Let's get into the bans. Bans out here for SNX. Going to be Jeraziah, Tundra, and one more way down here, Draconis. So banning out the Jeraziah that was in the game last time. Did not want to have to deal with that. Not going to be going to hero possibly that is going to be using a Nullfire Blade. So instead, going to choose to ban him out. No big deal. Gets the Dragon out of there. No 600, 700 GPM games for that guy, but not a problem. Bans on the other side here for QLM. Wild Soul, Fade, and Meraxis being banned out. Meraxis, of course, able to get some good initiations there in the last game, but QLM says, whatever, we're just going to go ahead and pick a different strength initiator in the form of Pebbles. That's going to be their second pick. Third pick over there is going to be Engineer, so already setting up a fantastic aggressive lineup for the middle lane if that's what they choose to run. Finishing out the bans, we did have Fade and Wild Soul. So Wild Soul made it through the blind banning phase, did not make it into the lock pool. But, of course, that strong suicide jungle hero, well, not going to be used. No real reason why he shouldn't be banned. He's such a strong hero, as long as you don't lose to a Bubbles in the short lane. Shout out to Luft from the gold matches that we were casting just a little bit ago. He did lose the short lane to a Bubbles. It's pretty rough, Luft. First pick coming out was, in fact, Silhouette. Strong agility carry. We already talked about numbers 2 and 3. Pebbles and Engineer. Strong lanes right there. Andromeda and Flux going to be picks number 4 and 5 here for the SNX crew. I love those picks. Flux going to be able to do so much chaotic potential. Able to get in there. The swamps, the displacement. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Standard pick number 3 and the final standard pick here was, in fact, Wretched Hag. So going to be able to get the early game mobility, the ability to farm, and the late game carry potential from the Hag. The huge burst, the team fight potential, lock-picking phase. Tempest, first locked completely. Believable that is, in fact, going to be the first lock. Of course, one of the stronger junglers in the game, if not the strongest jungler in the game, able to routinely get up into that 350 gold per minute range if left unattended, and of course has the possibility of getting those ganks going on, able to get strong pushes going with those elemental replicates as well if you do choose to level those ones up. And of course that game-breaking ultimate, the Elemental Void, going to be able to catch so many players if he does choose to use that in a team fight, or able to lock down one very, very crucial player. And the last lock here was, in fact, Bubbles. So that's going to be rounding out the Legion team. Wally on the Tempest. So going to be seeing some junglers this time. All 7 were not banned like last time. Live well. He's going to be playing the Flux here in the middle lane. We have Seishi. He's going to be playing the hard carry Silhouette in the bottom. Going to be teaming up with Andromeda. Drops those Auroras. Will be able to reduce the strength by the armor by quite a bit. And be able to pump out a ton of auto attack damage there from Silhouette. And then skills. He's going to be doing the suicide thing on Bubbles once again. Showed his skills off quite well in the last game. We'll see if he can do it again. On the other side of things, the final picks were in fact Plague Rider as well as Legionnaire. So going with the Legionnaire in the jungle being played by Deathbringer. He was playing the Moon Queen last time. This time he'll make his way into the jungle, see what he can do there. Mudkip trading out his Meraxes for a Wretched Hag. Going to be doing the short lane solo thing. Grabs Guardian Ring. Going to be making his way toward a Ring of the Teacher real soon. Pebbles going to be teaming up with Engineer. That's QLM and Fire Sage here in the middle lane. And bottom lane, Plague Rider going to be doing his suicide thing. Angie Verona says, Jeremiah, not my style. Going to go with the Frost Dragon. Going to try to get something done here. He's going to be going up against the Andromeda and the Silhouette. I think he's going to have a relatively hard time down there. So we'll see if they're able to do it or not. Both teams choosing to deny the long lane using the Extinguish as well as the Elemental Replicates, the Elemental Minions. Elementals, that's all they're called. They become replicates when they replicate. Go figure. Alright, so middle lane Flux, a hero that we haven't really seen a whole lot in the past, say, 6 months, years since he's come out. But in the past couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, he's made a little bit of a comeback onto the scene. You never really saw him to begin with, so it can't be a comeback, but able to be in the game. He's a very, very tanky hero. You pick up these double Crushing Claws, double Minor Totems, and at level 1, 700 HP. He has great strength gain. He has very cheap spells in the form of that Magnetic Surge, and of course the Discharge has so much displacement, so much chaotic potential throughout the game, and I love seeing spells like that. The positional spells like the Swap and the Displacement, the Surge, the Release, all awesome, awesome spells here from Flux and Andromeda. Another one of these heroes that we don't see too often, but is very, very strong. So we'll see how this one pans out. Guys, I've got some good news, and I got some bad news. The good news, this is still going to be an awesome game. The bad news, there's no Sandwraith in this game. You might not have noticed, but Sandwraith was the focal point of that last one. Able to have very, very high kill involvement, and we'll see how fast this game gets kicked off. Of course, with the Tempest and with this Legionnaire, we might expect a little bit less action than in the last game, where when you're running 2-2-1 lanes, when you're running tri-lanes, you do have a little bit more action. The jungles can actually slow it down just a little bit, but Legionnaire, we'll see if he gets involved here in the offensive dual lane, offensive pseudo-dual lane, whatever you want to call it here, if he tries to come over and gank Bubbles. But Bubbles, with his take cover ability, should be able to protect himself pretty well from any Legionnaire ganks. I'd be a lot more concerned if I was Flux in the middle lane. Once they starting to roam around on that Legionnaire, that Flux might be in trouble. Even with 1,000 life, it goes down pretty fast when you're being wailed on by a Pebbles and an Engineer, as well as a Legionnaire. Andromeda and Silhouette, and they're doing all right in the bottom lane. Andro, of course, not taking any last hits, but Silhouette, she's doing okay, sitting at 12-3 in terms of creep scores. Going up against her, the Plague Rider at 5-3, so able to get a few denies in there and a few last hits, so not bad. Middle lane, Flux is actually going to be able to dodge the Stalagmites there. Going to put out some counter pressure onto the Engineer. The Keg is going to connect, and auto attacks are going to be coming in. Chuck back, and where's the turret? The turret is there. Flux is just going to man up onto the Engineer. He wants to be able to get the Surge off onto the Engineer. If he gets the Surge and then the release, he might be able to go for a kill right here. Engineer actually goes in for the Keg. It's a nice Keg. The Stalagmites are there, and Flux is going to be going down. Last hit goes to QLM. QLM takes the first blood right there, and I'm talking about the player, not the team. It's confusing when you have a namesake player on a team. But Flux, even with all that life, when you're getting pressured on for a full 22 seconds, which is the cooldown on those Stalagmites, well, you're going to take a lot of pressure. He got a little bit greedy there, did not want to step back and use his potion or his bottle. I don't think he had his bottle just yet, but he paid for it. Gives up first blood, so a little bit unfortunate as Pebbles does not get that one. Engineer will actually get credit for the kill. But Pebbles does, of course, grab some assists, and Plague Rider Silhouette exchanging last hits down here. Of course, the Contagion Nuke puts that one in favor of the Plague Rider, but the Contagion Nuke is not available, and Silhouette's certainly able to trade those auto attacks very effectively. Top lane, Bubbles and Wretched Hag trading, and it looks like Skills found himself lacking just a bit right there as Wretched Hag pulls away with the kill. She's going to hit level 6 first in that lane. Now becomes the top farmer in the game with the kill and with a solid 20-4 creep score. Tempest is able to pick up his Ring of Sorcery now and going to be able to farm that jungle quite effectively. Legionnaire's been trying to work on this camp for quite some time over here, and of course with Vulture Lords, with double Catman champions, it's going to take quite a bit of time as he's going to wait for his spins to be available once more, and does finally manage to clean it up. Hits level 5, got to be close to level 6 as Flux is maybe in a little bit of trouble there, activates the release and does slow down Pebbles, but Pebbles immediately just makes his way back over to the creep wave and says, okay, just going to get my farm. Stalagmites come out onto Flux. The Keg is there as well. Unfortunate miscommunication there by QLM. The Keg does not connect because the Chuck was going backward. Needed to communicate that one just a little bit better, but no big deal. Probably weren't going to get the kill, and Pebbles just chugs a regen rune and is able to get right back to farming. He is the top farmer in the game now, just shy of 300 gold per minute. Very important that you do, of course, get that early farm on your initiator-type heroes. Your Pebbles does need to get farm and levels in abundance in the early stages if he wants to remain relevant into the late points of this game. Death Lotus not really hitting anything there as Silhouette's taking a lot of pressure from this Plague Rider. Plague doing a nice job of making sure that he's able to get experience, able to get CS. You can see the lane being pulled back into his favor quite a bit down here. Level 2 Extinguish, able to get a good amount of denies, but as Tempest hits level 6 now, he's making his way toward this lane, and with the tower already relatively low at about 50%, and a Ballista wave coming in. Tempest, by all means, should be able to take down this tower. Although, Hasted Pebbles is going to be here. What's he going to be doing? Hasted Pebbles is there. He's going to try to go onto the Silhouette. The Chuck is there. The Stalagmites, but no follow-up. Tempest does have an Elemental Void, so very wise decision from Fire Sage to actually back out of there. Does not want to put himself in a position where he could get hit by the Elemental Void, stuck in place for 4 seconds, and then just burst down by the other players. The Silhouette and the Andromeda with the Comet stun, another 1.5 seconds. It's coming out right there and quite a bit of damage. Even though it's only a level 1 Comet stun, still hits for, what, 150? 100. So, not as much damage as I thought. Bubbles is in a little bit of trouble. Decapitation comes in from Deathbringer. Well played. Little Bubbles, turtle head, rolls off down the lane, down the ramp, into the river, and makes his way toward the mid, where Pebbles and Engineer are just kind of hanging out, doing their level 5 thing. Flux is able to hit level 6, so getting decent experience here. But in terms of gold, not really able to get a whole lot. He's sitting at 172 gold per minute, only 19 CS. Actually, 19 CS is not too bad. So I don't know why I'm saying that, but what to do. They're going to be going for a little bit of a pause right now, unfortunate. But hopefully it'll just be a second. I think Deathbringer said it will just be a sec. So we'll see. We'll see. Andromeda and Silhouette just kind of hanging out down here. Silhouette picks up a life tube, so that's going to be able to keep him high on life against this Plague Rider that's just consistently pounding in damage. Plague Rider with the contagion nukes and with the possibility of dropping that Plague Carrier ability at any time could be a very serious threat to Silhouette. Interesting to note that Plague has actually hit level 6 before Silhouette. I'd say that QLM's in a good position right now. Although they were in a good position in the early game last time too. No Sandwraith in the game this time though. Oh, sorry guys. Need to take a drink of water right there. Throat's starting to get dry, but it's been a long day of casting. It's been about getting kind of close to 12 hours now of casting today. I think we're about 10 and a half hours. Silhouette is going to go down right there. The Plague Carrier as well as the Contagion Nuke is actually what's going to bring him down. The Aurora comes out and Plague Rider going to take a drop there as Gimli gets revenge for Saishi. But Plague doing a nice job. Hits level 7 and now Silhouette falling a little bit further behind, down at only 200 gold per minute. Looking not too great for SNX here in this game. Keep wanting to call him SNL, but this is not a sketch comedy show. This is HoN Tour, the bronze finals. Engineer picks up Striders, trying to run some runes. Unfortunately, is not going to find a rune. Flux has already picked it up, and it is in fact a haste. Level 6 Flux going to try to man up here. Maybe pull somebody in, use the discharge, use the discharge and the magnetic surge to pull somebody across the river, get some fallout from his team, but no, not quite going to. Andromeda and Silhouette just kind of hanging out right here. Maybe hoping to get a kill onto Plague Rider. The Aurora does connect. Not doing a ton of damage though. It's a level 3 Aurora. Swamp is available. No Swamp plus Comet though. So if that was available, I think that they would have gone in for a kill on Plague Rider, knowing that the Plague Carrier ultimate is not available. Silhouette, even with the life tube that she's got, still taking a ton of pressure from this Plague Rider. The level 3 extinguishes. Actually, Flux is going to go in for an attempted kill onto Hag. Haste not going to be enough to keep him in contact, though. Level 3 Extinguish is going to just be consistently keeping the creep wave in a position where Plague Rider is able to get a ton of experience and just able to spam Contagion Nukes every time Silhouette gets into range. So Plague has just done a fantastic job down here, Angie Verona that is, at getting the experience and making sure to deny as much experience as possible to Silhouette, who is now actually going to be going in for a kill right here. The Aurora is there. Contagion Nuke going out. Swamp comes in, wants to hit with the Comet. Seishi does get the kill. You might say, what the hell was with that Swamp? Well, he wanted to get it in there while they had vision and land the Swamp, and that they did. Legion's able to put themselves up on the board with 2 kills as Gimli has to go and dry some dishes. So they're going to be doing that. And guys, I'm afraid I have to take a very, very quick step away from the computer too. I'll be back in just a few seconds. Going to go ahead and set the camera on Flux. Be back in about 30-45 seconds, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right. I'm back. Where are these guys? They're still AFK. Does he really have to go dry dishes? He really had to go dry dishes? How long does that take? Like 5 minutes? Or like an hour? Christmas dinner? 2 hours? Oh, no, it's a joke. Okay. Both teams are good in good spirits right now. Well, guys, we are just taking a little bit of a break here. For those of you that are just joining us, this is Complexity Casting. I'm your casting host, Beef. Thank you for joining me tonight. Earlier today, we did cast the Silver Grand Finals, Gold Losers Round of 4, and now we're in the Bronze Grand Finals here for HoN Tour Cycle 2. Lalonde of Stay Green, my co-caster, was with me for the first 2 series, but unfortunately was not able to join for this unscheduled 3rd series. So we'll see. I don't think I ever sent out that tweet. I forgot to tweet about this game. When I'm by myself, I tend to forget things, and I tend to get a little bit silly. So that's what the state of things right now is. If you're interested in more coLcast, make sure to follow here at twitch.tv/ComplexityHoN, where we do have 3 main events that we're covering right now. We do have, of course, coLcast HoN Tour. We have coLcast presents Scrimcast, where we cover Complexity and other teams going up in their scrims. Complexity, of course, whenever available, but if Cole's not scrimming, bring you games from other top teams such as Stay Green, Trademark, Lions, TTEs, whoever else happens to be around. So that's the state of that things. And of course, coLcast presents Sound Blaster Heroes League, an event that's going to be starting up once again on January 7th, getting qualified for the final event that's going to be taking place down in the end of February. It's going to be a $40,000 16-team tournament. Look for that. Guys, we're back into this game, though. I got to put this water down. It feels so nice and cold in my hand, but I got to operate the camera because we don't want to stare at that same spot the entire game, but stare in there long enough with the pause. So, right now, if we take a look at things, it looks like QLM has a pretty substantial advantage. 2,300 in terms of gold, and a pretty substantial advantage in terms of experience as well. Pebbles is going to get gone on here. The Shellsurf Song of the Sea combination comes in. The Kelp Field goes down, and Engineer's going to be in some trouble. Pebbles goes down. A few more auto attacks, and Bubbles will be able to actually clean this up. Purge goes out after Bubbles walks through, and Flux actually with a nice disjoint there. Bubbles is going to take a fall, perhaps, but trying to bring down Engineer first. No, not quite able to. Mudkip gets the kill onto Wretched Hag, extending that experience lead up to 3,500. Did take a fall on the Pebbles, so that's a bit of an issue, but not a huge deal by any means. Live well on Flux, still sitting at sub 200 gold per minute, not quite able to get the farm that he's looking for. And only level 8, so not even able to get the levels that he's looking for. Wants to max out that Magnetic Surge, wants to be able to get some points into that Polarity Swamp to increase his range and the damage that he's going to be doing in the range of his Magnetic Surge. All that kind of good stuff as another pause comes in. And we're going to be going back to another break, guys. US West owning him. Are you guys EU? Oh. Oh. PA. Oh, I can't do it because it's paused. Well, it looks like we have an Australian team here. Why would I ask if they're EU? This is the US finals. So, guys, I'm a little bit delirious from a long day of casting and, well, not having a co-caster right now to keep me in check, but I'm having fun with it, and I hope that you guys are as well. So we talked a little bit about all the other stuff that coLcast does do. Scheduled for the next week for coLcast if you do want to tune in. We're going to be coming back tomorrow morning, hopefully with a few scrimcasts before I have to go out and run some errands for Christmas Eve. And then we're going to be going into on Wednesday. Cole should be back for more Scrimcast action. Going to be bringing you that. Chessie's birthday is on Wednesday. And, of course, he wants to scrim for his birthday. So we're going to be trying to set that one up. Thursday and Friday, we're going to be bringing you any scrims that happen to happen between TDM or SG or whatnot. Or maybe even if Cole is able to get some scrims going on right then and there. But we'll see. And then Saturday and Sunday, going to be bringing you Gold League matches here from HoN Tour. We're going to be going into the lower round of 2, the lower finals, the winners bracket finals, and the grand finals of Gold this weekend. So going to be bringing you all that action. HoNcast is going to be on vacation, but coLcast will be here covering that one. So don't you worry, you'll still have your HoN Tour fill for the next week. Following that, the next week we'll be going back into more Scrimcasts, getting prepared for HoN Tour Cycle 3. That's going to be the first weekend of January. And then the first week after that HoN Tour, we're going to be going into Sound Blaster Heroes League Qualifier number 2. And that's going to be pretty cool. Guys, also, if you're fans of StarCraft, I'm going to be doing a little bit of casting with a organization that has not announced their casters just yet. So if you like to watch StarCraft, I'm going to be doing some casting for that in the very near future for the next few months. So I'll be sure to post that on my Facebook and my Twitter once that is announced and everything. But guys, going to be pretty dang cool. I have a very, very nice couple of weeks of casting coming up, a couple of months of casting coming up. Got a pretty booked schedule up until March or so right now. So I am very, very excited because we're going to get back into this game. Bubbles up here in the top lane, trying to go up against Wretched Hag, but Hag is quite a bit more farmed than Bubbles. 323 gold per minute, about double the gold per minute of the Bubbles. Skill's just not able to secure any farm there in that lane, and even when he was going in for some assists, he's died a couple times more than he's probably happy to. As Plague Rider Ultimate's going to be going out, and, well, Plague Rider will take a fall, does a lot of damage to Silhouette first, but not quite able to secure the kill, so Seishi gets his second kill, promotes his farm back up to about 240 now. Legionnaire might go in on the Bubbles, and, well, Shell Surf is being used right there. Taunt goes out, going to be able to hit, and decapitation once again. The turtle head going to roll around in the pile of G's. Poor little Bubbles. How does he keep growing a head? I know, like, reptiles grow a bunch of, like, body parts back, arms, and tails. They can grow back portions of their torsos and their abdomens if they lose parts of that, but how do you grow back a head? Because he's not a reptile, he's a turtle. And actually, Flux is going to try to get in here, doing a nice job of juking, actually. And he's just walking around, waits until the energy field expires, and Flux is actually going to pull him back. Where's the Comet stun? Andromeda's just trying to get in position to swap if needed. It's not up for another 4 seconds. Great play there by Livewell. Actually able to dodge the keg stun, able to get in there and wait for the energy field to expire. So very, very well played. Of course, very tanky at 1100 experience. Sorry, I just read that I have a name wrong here. I'm a little bit dyslexic. Seraphic Nexus, not Sepharic Nexus. Seraph. Like a seraph. Huh. Makes a lot more sense now. So, got that fixed up for you guys. Sorry about that to SLNX, SNX. I just can't say these names today. It's hard when you got a bunch of acronyms in your head. Wretched Hag still just trying to get her farm on up here. She still remains one of the top farmers in the game. 347 gold per minute. Legionnaire, though, level 12. Been able to kill a lot of double and triple stacks. And he's looking pretty good at 363 gold per minute. Finished up his red boots. He's got Helm of the Black Legion, Blood Chalice. Looking good in general. Bottom lane, Silhouette starting to farm relatively well at 280. Of course, finishes up her steam boots. In addition to that life tube that she's had for quite a while. and might be looking for something. A swamp goes in onto Engineer right there. The keg is there. Stalagmite's going to be going out. The energy field comes in, and Flux is into trouble. Decapitation. It does come in. Elemental Void going to be able to catch 3 players right there. Does bounce back, and Tempest will take a fall. Wretched Hag is trying to finish off Andromeda. Will he be able to get there in time? Andro's making a mad rush for it, though, with those Striders, and Hag's going to try to make the cutoff. Will she be able to? Will she be able to? Going to be able to get up there. Nice job! Gets the Flash of Darkness. Sonar Scream to finish off Andromeda. And the juice is loose here for for Wretched Hag. Mudkip, a serial killer. And it looks like QLM looking a lot better in this game than they did at the end of the last one, where they're now 3,000 gold and 6,000 experience up over their opponents. And looking like they want to take it into Game 3. Will they be able to keep going, though? Shell Surf's going to come in. Drops the Song of the Sea. The Kelp Field is not yet available. Down for 40 seconds. Discharge going to bring him back in. The release is there. Auto attack's going to finish off Plague Rider. Combo onto Silhouette. Silhouette's going to take a fall right there. Tempest comes in. The Glacial Blast being applied. The Meteor is there. And Pebbles is going to fall to a Shell Surf Legionnaire. He's super tanky. He's not even worried, as he's actually just going to back off. He's going to be just fine. Level 9 Andromeda wants to make something happen, but not quite able to. Not a whole lot of follow-up here from the rest of his team. Bubbles is there. 15 seconds until he has another Kelp Field available. Andromeda goes in for the swamp. Wretched Hag gets on out of there. In comes the Shell Surf. The Song of the Sea. No, doesn't even need it. Auto attacks are all that are needed. The Kelp Field not even up. So Andromeda with a great job getting the swamp off. An immediate Comet Stun. I liked it when he swapped, he ran forward. He didn't run backward to try to Comet Stun down here. He ran forward knowing that Hag would blink back to her tower. Was able to connect with the Comet Stun, able to get the kill, and all of a sudden, Seraphic Nexus able to get themselves back into this game a bit. Gold lead now down to 2,700. Experience lead evens out at about 5,000. So that's the state of things. Seraphic Nexus, they certainly have their work cut out for them, and Silhouette is not looking like too strong of a carry at this point, especially when compared with the Wretched Hag and the Legionnaire on the other side. But you also got to talk about this Flux, who's farming decently well, getting decent levels, and of course the Tempest, who's got that portal key already. Elemental Void up in just 60 seconds. Will he be going for some kills relatively soon? Maybe, maybe not, as he's just going to continue to farm. Maybe make his way toward that Shrunken Head. Although you gotta wonder if that's what he's going to go for. There's a lot of stuff here that is going to interrupt him through a Shrunken Head. You got the taunt coming in from Tempest, or excuse me, from Legionnaire, and you've got the Plague Rider ultimate coming in from Plague Rider. So if he does get hit by either of those, then going to have a very rough time. Of course, landing a taunt on an ulting Tempest is relatively hard. You kind of have to do it like at the exact same time. You can't really blink on top of an ulting Tempest and then try to drop a taunt. You'll just get sucked into it. But we'll see. We'll see. Flux picks up a portal key to complement his bracers as well as that red boots that he has, but Flux might be in a little bit of trouble. Uses that portal key to actually go and bottle up an Invis Rune. Chugs the Invis Rune and one additional to get some mana back. Going to be looking to maybe plot out here in the middle lane. Plot a world domination. Just going to be plotting out for a nice team fight. Maybe go get some scouting done. He's still just kind of hanging out in the middle lane. A little bit wary of any counter wards that might be in this area. Good reason. There are counter wards back here, as Engineer did see him pick up the Invis Rune. Knows that if he tries to use this entrance, or sneak up over here, that counter ward will see that. So, nice job, nice job. Flux is just kind of hanging out here. Stop casting a bit while he's invis, and will actually use the Magnetic Surge to pull one creep home. As I said, this game's a little bit more passive. The presence of junglers, the presence of more heroes that require more farm. Who would have ever thought that a game with a Sand Wraith in it would be an action-packed game like that last one? But damn if it was not. Damn if it was not. Bubble's trying to get his farm on here mid. Boosts himself up over 200 to accompany Flux into that 200 range. On the other side, though, Legionnaire and Wretched Hag still getting quite nice farm. Legionnaire picks up a portal key and is very close to hitting level 16. Going to go ahead and try to double stack these Catmans. And Bubbles picks up a portal key as well. So that's going to be rather nice. And Legionnaire actually TPs down here to the bottom lane. Wants to be able to clean up these creeps and maybe even jump onto the Silhouette. But no, Silhouette backs off too dang quick. Both teams kind of playing 4 or 5 men here in the middle lane, while their farmers, their ricers, get the job done in other locations. Legionnaire, of course, farming out the bottom lane in the jungle, while Hag's kind of doing her thing top and helping out mid a little bit. Silhouette, she's trying to get something done here in the jungle, finishes up that sustainer, but she's still quite a ways off from finishing up her nullstone. 1,500 gold at this point. Water. Water is delicious, guys. Some of you might say beer at the end of a cold day, or a soda, or a hot cup of coffee, or hot chocolate when it's cold outside. I say water all the time. And Elemental Void going to be able to catch 3 players right there. That is absolutely huge. Shellsurf Song of the Sea. Bat Blast going to be coming back in from the other side. Already 1 player down. Tempest gets decapitated right there. Engineer and Pebbles both die after the Elemental Void. Bubbles is in some troubles. The Plague Rider ultimate bouncing around. Legionnaire going to try to finish off the Silhouette, and that he does. Going to be able to try to get back in there on the Flux. Flux is maybe in some trouble. Buyback on Tempest. Tempest is going to try to get back into the thick of things. Summons the Elementals, and that should be about it. And the end of things, the Hellborn team most certainly got the better end of that engagement. 4,000 gold, 8,000 experience advantage, forced out a buyback from the Tempest. I don't agree with that buyback, by the way. I think that engagement was pretty much over, although the Hag might have pursued down onto that Flux a little bit further if he didn't see the TPs coming back in. But a very, very nice Elemental Void went kind of awry. They didn't have the damage to follow it up. They were only able to bring down 2 players, and they all clumped up for that Hag. Tempest came in, got it down. Flux pulled them all into it. Shellsurf Song of the Sea, Kelpfield goes down. But Andromeda and Silhouette and everybody else, they just didn't have the damage to follow up to get the 3 kills. And immediately that Bat Blast hits everybody. And they're in some pretty bad shape as Flux is actually in there. I'm going to try to get a kill onto the Engineer, and Flux Ultimate is up. Glacial Blast going to be coming in. Where's the discharge? Not even needed. Auto attacks are all that are needed as Bubbles walks through the Purge a couple of times. Takes a substantial amount of damage. His Silhouette's in some trouble up here in the top lane. Portal Key has been picked up by Pebbles. They need 1 more nuke, and a nice juke there. Pebbles trying to go back in, but no, a beautiful juke from Silhouette. Able to keep herself safe, and she will be able to back off, live another day. Legionnaire going to go in, decapitates Bubbles 1 more time. Just kidding, decapitates Andromeda. So he says, I want that celestial head. Mount it to my wall. So gets a double tap right there. Deathbringer looking so strong. Level 18 on this Legionnaire. Picks up a Soul's Bulwark. That's how he's doing so much damage. Looking very, very good. Now up 10,000 gold, 5,600 experience. At 23 minutes into this game, Wretched Hag trying to bring it out of tower. Does manage to get it. She does not manage to make it up the cliff there. She's going to actually go back in onto Silhouette. Misses the Bat Blast, though. And Wretched Hag might be in a little bit of trouble. Silhouette's actually going to try to get the kill. And Flux actually uses the discharge to pull them back in. Pebbles takes down Silhouette, though, and Pebbles now trying to bring down Flux as well, but does not have enough mana. Legionnaire is there, but once again does not have enough mana or a cooldown on his Portal Key, so not able to bring down the Flux. Silhouette bought back. That's a rage back. That is the technical term for that, guys. That is a rage back. No particular reason why she needed to buy back right there. Just frustrated that she's dead. And Engineer, he's going to be frustrated that he's dead here in a moment, as well as he tries to get the kill onto Andromeda. Does actually a substantial amount of damage while getting away. Plague Rider throws up a ward. No, not going to throw up a ward. Shellsurf Song going to see Kelpfield going to be coming in. Bubbles trapped inside, and he's in some serious trouble right there. Down goes Silhouette. Down goes Bubbles. And I think that might be the hope here for SNX. Seraphic Nexus falling very, very far behind right now. And Quadlane Mid says, screw it. We don't want to have to deal with that situation there once again. So we're just going to finish this one early. 13,000 gold, 10,000 experience lead. Screw that. Reverse those 2 because I'm dyslexic. And you have your lead for QLM. Pebbles getting some better farm than he was, up at 2,600. Plague Rider picks up a Shaman's Headdress, could be making its way toward a Barrier Idol if he picks up a Refreshing Ornament, which he does right there. Legionnaire sitting on 2,300, so you're 2,700, so he's going to be just about 400 or 500 away from a Demonic Breastplate if that's what he chooses to pick up. I would like to see a Barbed Armor, like those of you that have been with me since Alon was here a couple hours ago. Barbed Armor is a fan favorite on Legionnaire, and picking that up at 67 minutes into the game is not nearly as effective as picking it up at 25 minutes into the game. Engineer picks up a Neophytes book, going to be working on a Tablet of Command most likely. Could be working on a Storm Spirit though. Also a very nice item to have. And Hag finishes up her Hellflower, in addition to her strong core of Steam Boots, Power Supply, Ring of the Teacher, Grave Locket. She's looking pretty damn mighty. Speaking of mighty, she's got 1,000 gold. Might be looking for a Mighty Blade next, which would of course lead me to believe she's going to be going Shrunken Head. But we'll see if she does pick up that item or not. Silhouette, with that rage back, finds herself knocked back to the Stone Ages in terms of farm. Still going to be quite a ways off from finishing the Nullstone, down at 239 gold per minute. Very, very low gold per minute for your hard carry, hard farmer. Tempest, the only one farming at a respectable amount here at 315 gold per minute, picks up a Mighty Blade and might be trying to get something done here. As an energy field is going to go down and Silhouette's going to start pounding in auto attacks. Tempest is going to come in. Elemental Void catching one. Going to be able to pull him in with Flux as well. Bat Blast is there once again, hitting two heroes. Pebbles might try to turn it around. Hellflower being applied onto Silhouette. A couple auto attacks. Silhouette will die. Pebbles takes a fall as well. Will Engineer. So trading 2 for 1. Losing Silhouette. Picking up the mid lane. Double stun combo though. Tempest in some trouble as the ultimate going to be coming out. No! Did not choose to use the Plague Rider ultimate, which would have interrupted that TP. I disagree with that decision. Should have used it. It's only a 115-second cooldown here at level 2. Should have guaranteed the kill onto that Tempest. A level 15 Tempest would have been a lot of experience and a lot of gold. And Tempest actually just got a double tap ultimate warrior streak. Even more reason to pick up that kill with the ultimate. So Angie Verona, I like what you did in the long lane, but you needed to ult right there. You most certainly did. Legionnaire does finish up that demonic breastplate, so he no longer worries about things hitting his chest. Problem is that he really doesn't have anything covering his like thighs. He's got the Ghost Marchers, which are great for actually going on up there. Top Gimli on the Andromeda takes a fall, but back to the more important things with Legionnaire. He's got the demonic breastplate, right? That's going to be covering his chest. He's got the Helm of the Black Legion. It's going to cover his head. I'm actually making these motions in real life. I should have a webcam on. His Silhouette just gets disintegrated right there. And Bubbles is in a bad way as well. Has to use his Shell Surf to get on out of there. So Helm of the Black Legion covers his head. He's all safe there. Not going to get a head cold. And Ghost Marchers, I mean, I don't know how protective those are, but at least he's got something on his feet. And GG well plays are coming out right now, but I'm going to finish telling this. You got, like, a Portal Key and a Blood Chalice, which are probably in your hands. What's covering his thighs? You got to protect your femoral artery. You got to protect it, otherwise you will bleed out very, very quickly. I should know. I have not been cut or cut anyone in their femoral artery, but I have read it in places, so I know first hand by second hand by third hand experience. This game's over, guys. GG well plays have come out, and QLM evens up the series at 1-1. So they say, screw that. We're not going down without a fight. Let's get this scoreboard right here updated. And guys, we're going to be going into Game 3 momentarily. So we're going to go to a very quick break. Before we do, however, I do have to give a shout out to S2 Games for allowing me to be here casting HoN Tour, and of course to all of you watching HoN Tour, watching me cast. I would not be here without you. You know who else I wouldn't be here without? Complexity Gaming. Check them out over at complexitygaming.com, where Complexity is on the front page. I'll, of course, be posting a coLHoN weekly breakdown in the next 2 days, where you can check out VODs from all of the coLHoN matches in the past week. You can check out results, recaps, all that. over at ComplexityGaming.com, and make sure to check out Cole at Facebook.com/ComplexityGaming, and Twitter at ComplexityLive. While you're there, make sure to like, follow, and let them know that you enjoy coLcast so that they keep me around and I can keep casting more HoN and StarCraft and whatever else I'm going to be casting for you guys. So make sure to check that out. While you're over there at Twitter, make sure to follow me at BeefPotPie1 for all your information regarding coLcast, Complexity HoN, and HoN Tour, whatever we're doing. Any musings or funny thoughts I might have, rare as they might be, you can check those out on Twitter as well. Guys, quick break. One final shout out though. Complexity sponsors Sound Blaster, Origin, Creative, QPAD, PNY, G8 Brand, and Twitch. Big shout out to all those guys. We'll be back with game number 3 in the series in just a moment, guys. Don't go anywhere. It's coLcast with Beef.